So Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 Episode 10 premiere titled 210 words per minute. Now if you haven't seen the episode, this review is going to contain full spoilers, so if you don't want to get anything spoiled for you, don't watch the review, just go watch the episode, then come back again. So with all that said, let's actually start talking about the episode. So the episode mainly focuses on two parts, where you get Morgan and Grace's storyline in the mall, and you also get Dwight's storyline on the road, but they're two completely different story arcs, so I'm just going to talk about them in separate points. The whole Dwight storyline was extremely predictable, and it was kind of annoying how predictable it actually was, because towards the start of his storyline actually starting, he gets captured by one of Logan's members, and then he gets locked up in the back of a truck. The guy comes in about 2 or 3 times, and then of course, as you would predict, Dwight actually gets the upper hand of him, and then Dwight puts him in the position that he was just in. So then you think, oh, maybe Dwight would kill him, but no, you know he's not, because him and Morgan keep saying that they're not doing it easy, they're doing it good or something like that. So you know he's actually not going to kill him, he's just going to set him free, so he can give him the lesson that Dwight is going through at the moment. Maybe put the guy that captured Dwight, maybe put him on the same road that Dwight's on, because they're trying to do good. And as well, the whole thing with Dwight was, the worst thing about it was I couldn't see anything at all. It was extremely dark, and as well, I got the vibe from Dwight. I don't know if it was from the character or the actor, but it just seemed like he didn't want to be there. He just didn't care about it at all, and he just has kind of given up and lost all interest whatsoever. I don't know if it's the actor or if it's the character, but either way, that's the impression I was getting. And as well, towards the end of the episode, Daniel actually gives him a haircut, so now he looks like the season 6 kind of finale area of The Walking Dead Dwight again, which was really weird to see again, because it looked extremely weird. And the whole Morgan and Grace storyline I thought was okay. Now, Morgan is one of my favourite characters. He's definitely in my top 3, if not top 5 of overall Walking Dead characters. But Grace, I'm not overly fond of her. I think she's okay, but I find her to be a bit irritating and a bit, for someone who's a scientist, she's a bit stupid. Where in this episode alone, I think she gets some caught in situations like 3 or 4 times where they could have died if it wasn't for quick thinking from her or even Morgan's part. So if she just kind of stopped and top for doing something, they'd be a lot better off. And the whole plot of them two at the moment is someone contacted them who's dying and asked, can you find me, kill me and bury me? So they're risking their lives for a dead man, which it's okay, like, because they find him in the end and they get to give him his final wish of being able to see the stars. But I thought they're going through all this just to bury someone they'd never met before. I just thought it was very weird, because they really put their lives at harm a lot in this episode. But Morgan actually talks about his wife and his son a lot in this episode, which I really did like, because from memory, we actually haven't heard him talk about his wife and kids since season 3 of The Walking Dead, when he was talking with Rick about them, how Dwayne died. I don't think Dwayne's dead though. I think Dwayne is going to get the storyline that Michonne had in the comics, where she gets reunited with her daughter. I think Morgan's going to get that storyline in the show. And I think, because last week when that black actor came on, I actually thought it was his son at first. I'm like, no way, he's too old, because I know Chandler Riggs got that old, but that was just through time. So I'd say they're gonna recast this kid and make him younger, but I thought it was him. And I can't remember if I actually spoke about Dwayne in last week's episode or not, or it's just my mind thought it was him. But I'm starting to think Dwayne might come back at some point, and I really hope he does, because I would love to see Morgan's reaction to meeting his son again, and just seeing the dynamic Morgan would have with his son, and see how much he changed knowing his son is actually alive. So even you can see in this episode they're trying to form some kind of relationship between Morgan and Grace. I've seen this since she ever got introduced. I don't know if they purposely did it, but I've been seeing them kind of some relationship coming, and I kind of hope Morgan does, because I want to give Morgan something to do. Not that he does a lot, I just want to give him someone to actually care about instead of just friends. I want him to have a loved one, because I think he hasn't had one since episode 1 of season 1 of The Walking Dead. I think just giving him something new would be good. But I do think Grace is going to die this season because of the radiation. Like, she doesn't want to take the test because she doesn't want to have less time. So I just think she's going to be the season finale death. But I would love Morgan just to have a little bit of time with someone, just to give him that different kind of purpose in the show. I don't know if it's going to happen. And as well, the whole Logan storyline, I'm not really that pushed with. I think he's an okay villain. They're trying to set him up as some huge villain for this season, but I just really couldn't care less about him. He's not that good. So let's see where it goes. Overall, the episode had some entertaining elements, but overall it is extremely forgettable and nothing really happens. Where if you went from 9 to 11, I hope 11 has something important, but if you skipped over 10, nothing would change. Nothing actually relevantness would happen at all, because you know that back in episode 10 Daniel says to, or episode 8 Daniel says to Dwight, can I cut your hair? So you would just assume, oh, at some point he must cut his hair, because that's the only one thing you can actually tell big happens. And like Morgan is now gone off with Al, but from last week, I don't remember last week's episode, I don't remember him ever saying he was going to be going off with Dwight and Grace, so you could just assume he went off with Al from that point. So nothing actually important happens in this episode, so you could really skip over it if you want, which is not good when they have a 16 episode run where you think every episode will have something important happening. So the fact that you can skip over this episode doesn't really help it at all. So that's kind of why it pushes it down a lot, even though it does have some interesting elements. It has Dwight, who I enjoy, Morgan as well, who I enjoy. Grace isn't the worst, so having these two main characters I actually really enjoy in this episode was good. But overall, it's extremely forgettable episode. I'd say skip it if you weren't overly invested in the show, but if you kind of want to watch it week to week, of course, watch it. But as always, don't forget to click subscribe to this video. If you like it, like the episode, let me know what you liked about the episode down below. If I'm wrong, if I'm right, whatever, just let me know down below. And as always, thanks for watching.